Accessories, accessories, accessories. There are as many Steam Deck accessories as there are Steam Decks out in the wild. So while the purpose of accessorizing is to make it truly your own, there are a number of different accessories that many recommend, including myself. But rather than recommend specific accessories, let's talk about the 10 types of accessories you should really look into. While some of these products were sent to me by these companies, no money has exchanged hands. I'm not being paid to say good things about them, but it is worth mentioning that it's not like a full product review. Number 1 is a micro SD card. It's the closest thing the Steam Deck has to a required accessory. While you could store all of your games on your SSD, having a micro SD card is a great way to expand your Steam Deck storage. A micro SD card may be less necessary if you bought the highest end Steam Deck, or perhaps you swapped out the SSD for a much bigger SSD, but it's still recommended that you buy one. And with how big games are getting these days, you may be running out of storage. You can buy multiple micro SD cards, and you can hot swap them to switch between different games. But I don't really find that necessary, and these days I don't really do it myself. This could be useful for cases where you're going offline for a while though. As for which micro SD cards I recommend, there are two that I really recommend, the SanDisk Extreme and the Sabrent Rocket. Both are a pretty similar price point and both have a similar level of performance. It's just a matter of which one's on sale and has the lower price at the time. The next accessory to look forward to is a dock of some sort. Docks are an accessory that many people don't bother with because, well, they kind of just play their Steam Deck handheld. And for the most part, that's true. I don't really dock my Steam Deck, but there will be times where I do. Docks come in all shapes and sizes. You have the official Valve Steam Deck dock and a bunch of docks that look like it. You've got more unique looking docks, USB-C hubs. You even have docks that act as your own power plug. And to be honest, I find those to be the most useful docks for me, especially when I'm recording gameplay footage. But there are docks with additional functionality, like an M.2 slot. I actually have one of those docks and it's still going pretty well. There are so many docks out there that it's hard to make one single recommendation. But if I had to pick one for just about anyone, get the Valve dock. It's an official Valve accessory. Number 3 is some type of controller. You might already have an accessory like this. The Steam Deck supports a wide variety of modern controllers. It supports your DualSenses, it supports your DualShock 4s, your Xbox controllers, everything from the 360 all the way up to the Xbox Series X controllers, and of course the Switch Pro and Joy-Con controllers. I tend to use controllers while the Steam Deck is docked. These days there are many quality third-party controllers. Many of them are designed for the Nintendo Switch, but they work great on the Steam Deck. For example, these GuliKit controllers. This one GuliKit actually sent to me. This is a King Kong 3 Pro controller. It's very similar to the King Kong 3 Max controller. This one is more affordable, but the main trade-off is there's slightly less accessories such as amiibo support, which doesn't even really matter on the Steam Deck. There are a couple of other differences that really escape me, but honestly, it's like 90% the same controller. Anyways, if you've got the Steam Deck OLED, then these Bluetooth controllers can actually wake the device up, which is really cool. Works quite well if it's docked to like a TV or something. So now let's talk about some other more niche accessories. Let's talk audio. If you like to commute with your Steam Deck, then you probably know that no one wants to hear your audio. It doesn't matter if you're playing Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto, Necopara, Honey Pop, or even Elden Ring. No one wants to hear your audio. But here's the crazy part. I like to hear my audio. So your best bet would be to get some earbuds, but which ones should you buy? The Steam Deck does support Bluetooth earbuds. Think Apple AirPods or even something like the Sony WF-1000 XM4s. Personally speaking, I don't recommend using Bluetooth audio at all. If you have an LCD, then the latency will be too great and it could disorient you in gameplay, which really annoys me. Admittedly, it's a lot better on the OLED, and in a pinch, you really could use like your AirPods or whatever, and it wouldn't be too bad. But the Steam Deck LCD and the OLED have a headphone jack. So this would be the perfect time to plug in some earbuds and just play. You can use whatever you want, but I prefer IEMs. They're smaller than full-on headphones, but they sound a lot better than your average earbuds. If you want a relatively affordable IEM that I think is of good quality, then look at the Moondrop Aria or the Aria 2. They're both around $90, and personally, I haven't tried the Aria 2s. I have the Aria Originals, and those are awesome. But if you want to splurge a little bit, I got myself some Echo Asgards. These were close to $500 MSRP, but you can pick them up for like $100 off on like Amazon or something. These might be my favorite way to experience audio, period, on any device. It's a shame that most phones don't have headphone jacks these days. Yeah, sure, some audiophile is gonna come in my comment section and be like, oh, these are cheap, you should check out my $1,000 IEMs or whatever. But like, who's gonna use that on a Steam Deck? Alright, so enough about audio, let's now talk about another accessory. A portable battery. If you have a battery for your phone, then it may work for your Steam Deck, but it also may not be powerful enough. You really need to see your battery specs and see if they're capable of charging devices as powerful as the Steam Deck. I had a couple of batteries in the past, and while they were good enough for my phone, they really wouldn't be able to charge my Steam Deck. But nowadays, I have a couple of batteries that I can use to charge my Steam Deck. For example, I've got this Shargeek 130 from Charge. I was actually sent this over to them to check out, and it came very late because of customs. In comparison to some of the batteries I've seen, it's a smaller battery, but looks can be deceiving. It's a 20,000 milliamp hour battery. It puts out enough juice to let you both charge the Steam Deck and play with the Steam Deck simultaneously. You can almost charge the Steam Deck original twice, or you can charge the Steam Deck OLED about 1.5 times. The next Steam Deck accessory is a case of some sort. All Steam Deck models come with a case of its own, and honestly, the case is pretty good. But there's one pet peeve that I have. There's not enough room for accessories. Things like your chargers, or even like micro SD cards. Whatever the case is, the case just isn't doing it for me. Generally speaking, I use Tomcat cases, but there are a lot of other Steam Deck cases out there. Some cases are big enough to support accessories. Some cases are actually smaller and thinner than the actual Steam Deck case, and as such are more portable if, say, you travel with a backpack. If you're fine with the actual Steam Deck case, then you don't really need any of these other cases. But if you need something else that fits your lifestyle, then go for it. Generally speaking, if you buy a device with a touchscreen, then you really should get a screen protector. But with some Steam Decks having anti-glare functionality, the conversation becomes a little more difficult. For starters, if you don't have the highest end Steam Deck, then yes, get a screen protector. But if you have the highest end Steam Deck, then getting a regular old screen protector will, let's just say, negate the effects of anti-glare. There do exist anti-glare screen protectors that you can apply onto your regular Steam Deck, and it'll give it slightly anti-glare properties. It's not the same as buying one that's already etched with anti-glare properties, but it's whatever. Putting an anti-glare screen protector on an anti-glare display doesn't like double down on the anti-glareness of it. You could do it, and yes, it would still be anti-glare, but at times it can make games a little blurry, especially for older like pixel art games. But it's a trade-off that you need to live with. I do have a D-band protector on my old LCD Steam Deck, but I'm not really rocking one on my OLED deck at all. On the topic of D-brand, let's talk skins. Skins are an easy way to change your Steam Deck's looks without having to go through the hassle of buying a brand new shell and then transplanting all of your parts into this new shell. Putting on stickers can be a little daunting and a little difficult at first, and honestly, I had some difficulty with it at first to begin with. But they do look quite good, especially on a Steam Deck. Now I'm gonna level with you. Had I not bought the limited edition OLED, then I would have put a skin on it, but I bought a limited edition version, so I'm pretty much obligated to not put a skin on it. Now obviously D-brand is the top dog when it comes to skins, and for what it's worth, they have some really neat designs. But there are other companies as well. JSOX has some skins. There's a lot of skin companies out there, and there's even some on Etsy, such as Mosquito Designs. And Mosquito Designs also has some really cool looking skins. And of course, in terms of other optional accessories, GaN Chargers are among the most optional of accessories. You have a perfectly fine Steam Deck charger, and it does work well with the Steam Deck, and yes, you could even charge like your Android device on it too. But there are some caveats. For example, the charger block itself is quite big. The charging cable is also permanently integrated into the unit, so if the wire breaks, then you have to replace the entire charger. GaN Chargers do solve most of these issues. For a given wattage, they are smaller, not to mention the wires detach. And if you need to charge multiple devices, you can always get a higher power GaN charger and then plug in multiple devices. I have a really powerful 100 watt and 160 watt charger from Ugreen, and it charges my Steam Deck. Heck, you could even charge 2 Steam Decks and a phone with it. And if you have a laptop that supports the USB Type-C charging, then you can charge a laptop too. If you don't have a ton of devices aside from like maybe your Steam Deck or a phone, then it might not be super useful to you. But if you're someone like me that has a lot of different devices, then these GaN chargers are a lifesaver, literally. You can also take them with you. They're fairly portable and the plugs fold in. You will need both a GaN charger as well as a cable that can support all the wattage. And of course, last but certainly not least, replacement parts, aftermarket parts. The Steam Deck has a proud modding community, and while most of the mods I do are within software, there's a subsection of the Steam Deck community that's dedicated to hardware mods. Some of the easiest mods you can do are in fact stuff like stick replacements. As you can see here, GullyKit actually sent me these Hall Effect sticks for the OLED Steam Deck. The cool thing is that you don't need soldering anymore to get these set up. But to be honest though, I have a limited edition Steam Deck and I do like the orange sticks, so maybe when these orange sticks start to go bad, I'll go ahead and replace them. But until then, I'll keep these available just in case. There's also replacement shells, which I've mentioned before. Those require a little bit more expertise to install because you basically have to transplant all of the parts in your Steam Deck into this new shell. I'm thinking about doing it one day with my old LCD Steam Deck. But some people take it even further. There are some people that literally solder more RAM onto their Steam Decks. 32 gigs of RAM on an LCD Steam Deck. Currently, there aren't any mods like this for the OLED yet, but it might happen soon. I will say, these days there aren't too many bespoke Steam Deck accessories. Anything you can think of for the Steam Deck has been made. You know, docks, chargers, etc, accessories. I can't think of much else the Steam Deck actually needs that I really haven't covered. I've covered everything from docks to controllers to even batteries and such. Maybe when the Steam Deck 2 comes out, we'll see an influx of new Steam Deck 2 accessories. And when that happens, I'll be there. If you like this video, please press the like button and check out our other videos. And if you like those other videos as well, be sure to press the subscribe button and share the good gospel of high-tech lowlife with your friends. Furthermore, we have a community Discord for enlightened individuals such as you. And if you wish to further support high-tech lowlife, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Links in the description.